Unfortunately, time is the only thing we cannot control yet. And we have such a challenging agenda, which includes over 12 hours per day of truly amazing keynotes and challenging discussions. Coming up next is a keynote on accelerating innovative solutions with technology in the domain of defense. And I have such a pleasure to welcome a dear friend of mine, Brad Chedister. Brad, please introduce yourself and the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, thank you. My name is Brad Chedister. I'm the Chief Technology Innovation Officer of DEFENSEWERX. DEFENSEWERX is a 501c3 nonprofit in the United States in the state of Florida, and we focus on innovation, collaboration, and facilitating innovative activities across the government, academia, and commercial sectors. So today, I'm going to talk a little bit about innovation collaboration in a dynamic environment and accelerating innovation solutions with technology and defense, and the defense sectors, the commercial sectors, again, using academia, government, and commercial entities. So, I want to kind of give, the why behind what we do a little bit. So traditionally speaking, it's very hard sometimes for industry and the government sector and academia to all work together effectively and efficiently in developing innovative solutions. So, there's many times there's barriers of entry. There's either the bureaucratic slow process sometimes that gums things up from the government side. There's sometimes the fast pace of industry and innovation that outpaces the government need to have structure and coordinated access. And from the academia side, sometimes there's the basic academic functions of basic research that kind of don't fit in and transfer and transition well into the world of commercialization or government contracting. So quite literally, we're meant to remove these barriers and create better agility within these three sectors, work from an international scale, working with each other to develop novel, innovative solutions for the future forward type techniques. So how do we do that? Great questions. So we pair with our organization is a forward-funded neutral emissary, and we pair with other government. We pair with government entities to create partnerships. And in those partnerships, they're called partnership intermediaries. We are the intermediary between the problem havers and the problem solvers. So the problem havers may be government organizations, whether it's the Department of Defense or other government entities that have problems in a myriad of different technological areas of interest. You could be AI, ML one day, could be, novel communication systems, could be workforce development platforms. So our job is to come in and partner with them and add in a layer of agility, lower the barrier of entry. So it's not just the solutions they already know about, but it's the best solutions that we go out and discover, engage, and accelerate into the hands of the people that need these things, whether it's the protectors of our national security, whether it's commercialization out to the public, and other avenues. So the way we do that is we form a partnership, like I mentioned, with the government. And in that partnership, we're forward funded in our activity. We're neutral. We're here for the facilitated churn. And we basically create a platform for purposeful collisions. And those collisions, like I said, you have the problem havers and the solution providers, and they're getting together and really talking about and working collectively together to solve the problems, instead of just saying, hey, here's a need, we'll push it out and just respond to the need and we'll down select. No, work collaboratively to really kind of curate the problem set and have a tangible ask before you move into the developmental phases. And then when you're developing these things, have the end users and the people that the stakeholders and the program managers and the acquisition pathway folks, have them all involved from early and often through the process. So as we form these partnerships, it's really important to us to really understand the metrics that matter with our government affiliates, and also the potential to spin out and do commercialization. So what I mean by that is we have multiple different things that we try to accomplish, right? In our partnership intermediaries, we're looking at tech transitions. So going out, discovering novel solutions, developing those solutions, and then transitioning them, handing them to the people that use these, whether it's a warfighter or whether it's a a first responder, or whether it's a cyber warrior, handing them these solutions so they can try them out, test and evaluate them, and reiterate and go back and prototype. The other thing we do is tech transfer. There's a lot of really, really good knowledge and IP being created inside of the government space, inside of academia, industry, and government. So with our government partners, many times we'll look internal and say, hey, what can be transferred out for commercialization? What good IP that you've developed, intellectual property, can then you go out and pair with someone out in industry to develop the next gen best solution to solve hard problems for the government and for mankind. So that's tech transfer. We also have a workforce development aspect. So how do you enable the country, enable the different entities to really stay ahead and really kind of keep pace with everything? And that's workforce development, developing the future workers that will have the accessibility and the knowledge to drive the future forward. So in workforce development, we have STEM activities, the science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So K through 12, all the way from a young age, really kind of developing those skill sets and the passion behind trying to solve hard problems. There's also internships. We run internships with universities. We run fellowships with industry and other government folks. They send fellows through our programs to really kind of bolster up that workforce development for the future. Super important part of that, because it's the people that make a difference in culture of innovation, not just the process. So past that, we really focus on trying to prototype out solutions that can be tested and evaluated. And in our platforms, we really try to lower, like I said before, lower the barrier of entry. And why is this important? If you're a non-traditional developer of an innovative solution, and you're really trying to crack the nut and get into, hey, I wish I could work with the government and win a contract and develop this novel technology because I might be the best manufacturer, the best innovator that can do this type of thing, but you just can't compete with the large primes that have a large business development function and they're just kind of trampling you over in business. Well, that's where we come in. We lower that barrier of entry and we say, hey, we're giving you an open forum. We're giving you a fair shake at pitching your idea forward and to be seen and heard. After they're seen and heard, it's up to the government or up to our counterparts in the military or government organizations to say, hey, I really want to continue down the path of developing that solution. So quite literally, we're there for the coffee date, like we like to say, and then making sure that those coffee dates are effective and making sure that us as a neutral party can line that good-natured conversation, open collaboration conversation up in a solid way to produce results. And results matter. So we measure many metrics across different academia, government, and industry sectors to make sure what we're doing as a forward-funded innovation platform really is making a difference. Like I mentioned before, we have metrics of technology transfers, things that have gone out and commercialized and started off in the government and kind of transferred out. We have metrics of transition, things that we've gone out and found and put in the hands of end users and warfighters, and they're using currently today. We've had different consignments, things that we've discovered and the government or military wants to go and buy and try and decide, right? We have different cooperative research and development agreements. We have lessons learned databases. Everything we do from start to finish, every activity, every educational purpose, every novel solution provided, every innovative activity we run is a product. And that product points towards metrics of success that we talk about on a daily basis with our government counterparts. So there's a lot there. There's a lot of different novel innovations going on, innovative sectors going on in the government, academia, industry, like we mentioned. Really, it comes down to how do you lower the barrier of entry? How do you let everyone's voice be heard? How do you level the playing field so everybody has the same type of shot at solving novel problems, solving really hard things with great solutions? And how do you pair them together? How do you create different collaborative opportunities where company A with a great idea, who might have been competitors in the past with company B, well, now they can collaborate because they both bring their expertise together to create an even better idea. So that's kind of the DEFENSEWERX platform. We have multiple different hubs across the nation, and we run international projects, and we're always willing to help and try to collaborate for the betterment of national security and for the betterment of the United States and the world. So happy to always work with others, happy to collaborate, and please feel free to reach out at any time. There's a lot of great stuff going on in the ecosystem, and we're just trying to be communicative and inclusive and make sure that people know about that great stuff. Thank you so much for your time. That's all I have.